This while in the presence of a guy who grew up on the smallest island on the planet, it feels like.
Right. Boy. Alright, we should be live now.
A small island with a big heart and way too much fascism in our history.
Good title for a book.
I'm just saying, like, that's true.
Just calling it like it is.
Like, dude, I'm sorry, but if you run around saying you're English and proud, then you've got a fucking problem because...
Yeah, like, what are you proud of?
To be English. Our special version of English is we took your fucking... your history. We took your culture, your food, your spices, and then didn't use any of them on our own food.
Yep. That's about right. Oh, man. Are you guys ready to start this thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let me just finish eating my grape. It's great to see you guys.
Nope, get out. Nope. Boo.
It's already going down for a show title.
Can't even use it because it was pre-show.
Veto.
Doesn't matter. Super exclusive title.
That's right. Patreon only, world exclusive. Also coming to Game Pass. My new game coming to Game Pass, Grape to Meet You. Sequel to Rain on Your Parade.
Dude, I had a really bad dad joke. I don't even remember what it was earlier this week, to the point that my kids booed me.
Yeah, it only makes me stronger. Don't boo me.
So the really good news is, Boston, is Grape to Meet You is not a game right now. So you do have the recording of that official idea.
Let me fire up Pico 8 again. Start making that. All right. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yes, sure.
Starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpir.
Howdy.
And the Nymph.
Hello.
Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. You can get all the good early access and behind the scenes stuff. Had a pretty good Outcast this week. That is the Patreon exclusive, uncensored pre-show stuff where we talk about pretty much every non-video game thing.
We talked about the wind.
Yeah, we talked a lot about the breeze, how nice the breeze feels. So if you want to hear those hot breeze takes, uncensored.
No, hot breezes are terrible. Come on,
those cool breeze takes. You can listen to patreon.com/E1M1. Get early access to We Rogue Like It. We're going to be wrapping up our current month here pretty soon, and picking up whatever next game is going to be. We haven't made a decision, and we're continuing to motor along with our most recent season of Critical Misses. Season 7 for the Alien Quadrilogy is airing right now for patrons. The first episode, Season 7, Episode 1 for the original Alien movie, featuring a 7-minute long email from Alien correspondent Mackie with a dramatic reading from one Moonpir. It's done very well. That makes it sound a little bit boring, but no, it is very interesting. That is up for patrons right now. Reminder, the $5 tier is the recommended one. That gets you everything. If you can support us financially, that's great. If you can't, totally understand. Times are tight right now. Best way you can support the show, even if you're not a patron, share it, tell your friends, rate us the maximum amount of stars where you listen, and tell 2 more friends after that. Word of mouth helps a ton. Okay, that out of the way, Moon has a very special shout out here at the beginning. A surprising and a very generous and nice shout out here.
Yeah, so for those of you who are patrons, you will have heard me tease recently how I had a secret evil plan, because my fellow co-hosts here, Boston specifically, does not like surprises.
I do not.
100% does not like surprises.
And you told me, I've got something 2 years in the making. I was like, well, crap.
So if this is your first time listening, thank you.
Welcome.
Especially if this is your first time listening because of the AE podcast, which is what my surprise was for Boston. I got us a sponsorship slot over there. So welcome. Please keep listening because I will need somebody to get my wrestling references.
That's
Please.
right.
Please.
Yep. If it's not about the Iron Sheik, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I need somebody to laugh to themselves when I make a wrestling joke, and these two idiots don't get it because they're not in tune with the culture. So
right. That's right.
Please, thank you. But yes, big shout out, thanks to Kevin and Kevin, make sure I pronounce it correctly, and Adam for the fantastic job that they did.
My favorite quote from that was 2007. I was still in school. That's effed, and I was like, yeah, that's great. That's I gotta give them a special shout out. I guess I didn't really realize it because we're kind of in the trenches week over week, just putting out the show. They brought up a good point about saying like, oh yeah, if I wanted to know what happened during E3 2010, I could just go listen to that episode and there it is, like a record. The Observer, I think they called us. I was like, yeah, yes, you know what?
Which is a reference that you don't get.
I know.
Don't get what that's a reference to. It's a reference to the Wrestling Observer, which is a review kind of magazine thing put out on a regular basis, and they basically have the entire archive of that available online now.
Yeah, it's like the Marvel
for wrestling.
Yeah, it's like the Marvel, the bald guy. Yeah. But yeah, I
so much sometimes.
I appreciate I appreciate a cool perspective on it. They were very nice about the show, which is nice. And thank you again, Moon, for getting that sponsorship slot. A Schluter. That's the important. Yeah, sponsorship Schluter. Yeah.
Don't say that, please. That just makes me think of like Borderlands, and that's not good.
That's right.
But yes, on to what we've been playing, I guess.
Yes, Moonpir. If you now that we've got all the welcomes and the intros out of the way, Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
Okay, so do I start with the boring one, or do I start with the crazy one, or do I start with the maybe I'm a sociopath one?
Boy, you're really selling it.
Yeah.
The boring one, I guess.
We're going to start with the crazy one first,
okay.
Which is we had yet another cross-coastal Olympics meetup on Friday after
that's right.
a game I'll talk about later. And we had fun. Again, baseball is still unplayable, and apparently Rob's internet decided to completely break down during the entire thing. So we got like 2 events in. It was like, no, you're not playing this anymore with him. No way.
What's the full title of this game? Because I feel like I keep writing it down differently in my notes every week.
I think it's the Tokyo Olympics game 2020 thing.
Okay. I keep writing down 2020 Tokyo Olympics question mark.
I have my app open here, so give me a second and I'll actually find out what
we will get the right name from the source, from the app's mouth itself.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
No, I already said it wrong. I said the. It's not good. No, the. Nope. Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 - the official video game TM.
Okay.
Yep.
Sure.
So there you go. Write that one up.
Just a full-on word salad here.
Uh-huh. But yeah, we had a meetup, and it continues to be the dumbest fun that I've had in a long, long time. It's the whole couch co-op thing of we're just going to play this game and have stupid fun and make fun of everybody while we do it.
Yep.
We played boxing for the first time. We played a bunch. Apparently, there's one event I haven't played yet. I don't know what that is. So that's
interesting.
Fun. I literally have no idea. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I woke just enough because it was like 11:30 by the time we'd finished the future to be mentioned thing. And Justin was on his Xbox, but he was on YouTube, which usually means he's asleep. So I spammed him with party invites and then texted him.
He fell asleep watching an ASMR video.
So I got him up. We played a whole bunch of games. That game continues to be shockingly fun for how terrible it is.
Yeah.
And then I did a little bit of fiddling around with it yesterday. So if you play... This is where I think it's going to get really crazy. If you play offline and you just play the single player or 2-player Olympic Games or whatever, it does the whole knockout heats thing. So I did the 100-meter sprint just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you start the sprint, you do the sprint, you get through to the semis. You get through the semis, you get through to the finals, and then you win gold, whatever. If you win a gold in the event, and I did not know this was in the game, in the practice mode, you can then face off against a real athlete.
Okay.
So, like, I got the gold medal, and then I returned to the title screen. It's like, new challenger has arrived. I was like, what is this, Smash Brothers?
Was it sports and it's like Usain Bolt's ghost is over here? Is like, all right, try and beat his lap time.
It's not even Usain Bolt. Like, the 100-meter sprinter is the guy who overtook Usain Bolt. Like, he's the guy who's the new, like, Jamaican 100-meter sprinter guy. And it was like, oh, this guy showed up. Challenge him. I was like,
let them fight.
Oh, crap. This reminds me of Diddy Kong Racing, how you do the time trial and then TT would show up and smoke you every single time you tried to play against him.
Yep.
Put you back in your place.
That's right. Oh, you thought you were good?
Oh boy, did I get immediately put in my place. Because, like 3 seconds every time on the 100-meter sprint, this guy is smoking me by.
Jeez.
When I'm putting 9-second times down and he's getting across the line in like 7 and 6 seconds, it's like, I'm not that quick.
He's already in his car, like going home, and you're crossing the finish line.
Legit, he is. And it's terrifying because that's on normal difficulty. There is a challenging difficulty too.
Gosh.
So who knew that this Olympic Games game for $40?
Who knew Sega hates you?
Not only do they hate me, but it's got so much more depth than I gave it credit for. It was a mini-game medley game for all I cared, and that was fine. I was happy with that. And now I'm mistaken. Now it's like, yo, you want to be a pro? Here's a pro. Go be a pro. I dare you. I dare you to go be a pro.
Right.
And now I'm scared.
Great.
I don't know, dude. I just don't know. Terrible.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Olympic Games is actually pretty fun, and if you're interested, feel free to hit me up on Xbox Friday nights. As long as other thing is not taking place, it'll probably be earlier.
Right.
But yeah. I'm at Moonpir, by the way, on everything. Twitter, Xbox, whatever. It's Moonpir.
Ghost Hand in chat said Sega had these really neat sports games in the 2000s, especially with Virtua Tennis. That's a great point. Yeah, Sega used to make a whole bunch, especially in the Dreamcast era, used to make a whole bunch of really great sports games. I guess there is a really good precedent for like, oh, you want to play like a real sports game? Here you go. And there's that cool fishing game.
There is so much depth to this game, like it's insane. Like, you hit the how to play button, and it's very much like Mario Party, where it's like how to play. You hit A to run, and then you hit A correctly, and you get a good start, and then you race to the finish, and you're done.
Yeah,
and then you look at the controls, and the controls like hold left trigger to get a super boost, hit A to time your correct jumping, you hit the D-pad at the same time as a direction to get a halfway through the race boost. And
LB for drift.
Just for poops and giggles, you hit LB to do a lean forward and get an extra boost at the line. And that's just the 100-meter sprint.
Right.
That's not table tennis and soccer and all of these other sports with actual things where it's like, okay, hold both triggers and flick the right stick to the left to do a side spin, while at the same time hold the right bumper to put top spin on it. It's like, no, I can't. Go?
Right.
I don't know. I'm now scared. The bright side is the achievements look pretty easy. Hello, new listeners. If you're interested in why I said that, I'm the achievement hunter of the group.
Yep.
Just so you know. Nobody else cares.
Nope.
Let's see. I played a skosh of Hitman. My skoshing of Hitman continues. I get like a little Hitman shot glass. I pour just enough bullets and blood in it for one contract. I take a shot and I enjoy it. And then I put it down and I don't play it for a while.
Yeah.
This is, of course, I wish I was talking about Hitman 3, but me with my strange brainworms means that I am, of course, talking about the first Hitman game.
Right.
The first modern Hitman game, because I have so much DLC to go through on that game.
Yeah.
There's too much content. Wait, don't get me wrong. Like I think that's a great concept. Like they did it, what's it called, episodically, where they did bit by bit by bit. That's great when you're playing the game when it's coming out.
Right.
When you come to the game 4 years later and there's 7,000 hours worth of content there for you, it's a little bit problematic.
And I feel like nowadays they kind of expect you to import it into Hitman 3 and then just never play it.
Which is the only reason why I'm playing it.
Right.
Because I need to play it on Hitman 1 before I can import it into Hitman 3 so I can take my mastery levels over.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, game, for being fantastic and also the biggest pain on my backside at the same time. It's so good, though. Like, I love it. It's stupid, and I love it. Hitman has always been the same.
Yeah.
Final 2 games. Might as well get this one out the way. Everybody, turn down your podcasts. If you like Destiny, if you don't like Destiny, just skip forward a little bit.
I'm trying to put chapter markers in these episodes, so you pull up the chapter and just click on the next one.
That's what I was going to say. With the handy chapter markers, you don't even have to turn it down. You just skip to the next.
Yeah.
There we go. So yes, apparently it's vacation time for the semi-serious raid group because it feels like every week someone is out.
Every week I'm like, hey man, do you want to join us for the raid again? Someone's on vacation. Those lucky ducks. Gosan in chat says, I hate Destiny. I played for over 800 hours. Yeah, welcome.
Yes.
Yep. Big
Welcome
mood.
Yeah. Okay, so soccer reference. Again, you two are not going to understand this. Please, new listeners, especially UK folks, understand where I'm coming from for this. As a Liverpool supporter, we never really had one. However, our biggest rivals, Manchester United, did have one. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, their current manager, when he played for them, he was referred to as a super sub, which is he would come on late in the game, make all the difference, and then suddenly Man United would be winning the game, and it's basically Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fault. So he was referred to as a super sub, which I don't know if that's a good mark for your career, to be honest.
Right.
Which is why I don't know if it's a good mark for my Destiny career that I am essentially becoming your guys' super sub for the raid.
Right. I mean, you got some cool drops this week, so that's good either way.
I did, and I jumped up like another 15 points of light in between. Thank you, Destiny, for sucking up all of my time.
Yep.
This is your fault, Boston.
It's awesome. I'm sorry I'm making you play a great game.
Sorry I'm making your life better.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
I am absolutely not.
Because I got 300 other games there waiting to be played, and here I am playing Destiny 2 17 years after it came out, you know?
Gosan in chat asks if we're playing Destiny 1 or 2. We're talking about Destiny 2.
Yes. Specifically, the Vault of Glass raid for the semi-serious raid group, which took place on Friday.
Right.
Is anybody on vacation this week, or can I start my Olympic get-together a little bit earlier?
Nobody has hit me up, so I'm assuming that we've got the full crew of 6. Plus, we're going to do the harder difficulty this week, so that starts at 1350, which none of us are close to, which is going to be bad.
I'm glad I'm not involved in that, so that's good for me at least.
Yeah.
So I can take my foot off the gas a little bit when it comes to Destiny 2.
So, have a breather week,
Yeah, play more games, different
Although
games.
Solstice of Heroes starts this week, you could get the cool armor.
I don't know what that is, dude.
I don't either yet.
It
hasn't started. It comes back every year. It's like a summer celebration for Guardians. Usually it's like go do this thing in another area, which consists of shoot all the aliens that are in front of you for like 10 minutes. Yay, you won.
So it's 4th of Destiny, is what you're saying?
Pretty much. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's usually pretty fun.
Making sure. Dude, I do. Stop it. You don't need me putting 20 hours into this game every week. That's fine.
But
no, it was fun.
Do I?
No.
Yeah. Vault of Glass, the reprised Vault of Glass is really good.
Like, out of curiosity, how many times have you guys tried it on a semi-serious night?
I was just actually looking at the raid report.
'Cause
I
I'm pretty
think-
You
sure
have
it's
a
like
raid
6
report?
times.
Oh yeah,
Two.
raid.report. You can see your previous raid runs. We
Also has
have.
Raid Dad, which he runs during the
I
raid.
I
which
do
is hilarious.
I run Raid Dad. It's raiddad.com where I get to see the loadout of everybody in the fire team, which is really good. This is because when we were running Deepstone Crypt, there's the Warlock super where you plant the sword in the ground. There's that giant healing circle. Instrumental for our run and beating the last boss was having that well. It's called a Well of Radiance. There might have been more than one run where I was running the correct super and a Binary Viking, who's is in the fire team, was maybe not running that super to kind of hilarious effects. Where it's like, all right, I got first well, and it's just like throwing a different super, and it's like, okay, I guess.
Giant void bubble.
Yeah. So this was our 6th run through, and
Okay,
our
so-
3rd clear.
Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong, but the super sub over here,
That's right. Right.
3 clears, and I have 2 of them under my belt.
That's right.
I think it's time, manager, that you started thinking about taking me into the big leagues
Right.
and getting rid of one of these idiots who can't do the job right. I'm just saying.
But you keep
You're-
talking, there's going to be a spot for you in the next one when someone doesn't show up again.
Yeah. You're
But
throwing a
trust-
lot
I'm-
of shade at the semi-serious Friday Night Raid group.
And trust me, you guys would rather run it with an a-hole like me than with a blueberry every single time.
Man. The last time we ran Garden of Salvation with a blueberry, real racist. Just like out of nowhere, halfway through the run, just real racist. I was like, wow, okay, cool. That's not gonna work. Great.
Escalated quickly kind of moments.
Very much, where it's like, all right, you're being a little bit like sexually inappropriate throughout most of this, but in a joking enough way that I'm not gonna raise any issues. But oh, here it goes, racism. Okay,
Yeah.
cool, great.
Yep. But no, I mean, it's fun. It's stupid. It's fun. I'm playing with the community. It's a laugh, and I'm having fun.
Yep.
I hate how good the shooting in that game is. I hate how good so much about it is, and how terrible so much other stuff about it is. Which,
Destiny giveth and taketh away.
yeah. And at this point, you're either in or out, or you have a sneaky shaper sitting on the background just trying to goad you in with like, oh, look, the shooting's good.
Oh,
with the
Destiny
little
2's
fishing
free.
line.
Look at this free raid over here. Ooh, there's Solstice of Heroes for. Oh, that's free too. Ooh, oh, it's never been a better time to hop in.
A
You say
moon,
that you have like a little
crossplay.
tiny. So you got like a little tiny Sherpa Boston on your shoulder,
Yeah.
just whispering in that ear.
Here's the season pass. You could just play. This season's 4 months. You have plenty of time to play. Don't worry about it.
Hey Moon, I bought you something.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, he literally did. He bought me this season pass. That's the only reason I'm playing it.
And then I bought you Destiny 2 on PC to say like, weird. Now we can run Nightfalls together on PC. Oh, weird. Oh, that's so crazy. Anyways,
Yeah, it's strange how that takes place, isn't it?
yeah, weird.
This is why he wants to get you a new computer. It's not for podcasting. He wants you to
Shh,
put
shh,
Destiny
shh, shh,
2
shh. I figured it out. Patreon.com/E1M1.
I'm not gonna lie, I did have frame rate issues.
Weird. That's weird. Patreon.com/E1M1.
Yeah.
The ones and numbers, by the way.
The ones are
Don't
numbers.
forget
Yeah. Weird.
that. But yes, my final game this week was Outriders, because while I've got a little Boston on one shoulder talking about Destiny, and I've got a little Rob sitting on the other shoulder talking about Outriders, and it's like I'm literally getting torn apart. Where it's like, here are these not games as a service games that you have to play because all of these people
Right.
want
You're
you to play
maxed
them.
out on live service games here.
And then some, and I've still got like 4 I'm not even playing right now, so that's
Right.
a nightmare in itself.
Yeah, come on over and join me on Fortnite. Go
like how
all the
you
way down the rabbit hole.
Didn't even finish that sentence without laughing.
I couldn't. I'm the only idiot playing Fortnite still.
I'm like, I will be fine playing Fortnite if you want to play the Save the World version, which I adore.
You know what's really great? Hold on. Tangent. If you
Sidebar.
so many of these characters that they're selling, not in the store itself, but kind of like outside the store. There's still a pack where it's like, hey, there's like 3 characters and like a bunch of V-Bucks and a bunch of other stuff. Any of those characters you buy for like anywhere between like $10 to $15, they're just giving you Save the World for free now. It's just like it contains 3 characters and like 700 V-Bucks and a bunch of weapon skins and Save the World. It's just like, wait, what? So like I fired up Save the World this week and played for like 30 minutes. I was like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, they gave me Save the World. That's incredible. Fantastic.
It's a pretty sick mode as well. Like, I really do enjoy that whole tower defense thing.
It seemed pretty cool.
Like, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ghost Hand in chat. To be fair, Fortnite skins are immaculate, especially the guest ones.
Yeah.
I agree in part with that, but I don't want to see a Xenomorph doing the stupid Fortnite dances.
Mm-hmm. I love it. You can't take any of it seriously because it's so good.
It's not. It's terrible, and I hate it all. But anyway, yeah, Outriders. Yes. So I was thinking I was close to the end of the game.
Yeah.
Because we talked about the map and how like I'm like 5 or 6 zones in or whatever, and like the map just is like still stretching off to the right.
Yeah.
I hit the right-hand side of the map. And then it did the Shadow of Mordor thing, and it was like, here is a whole nother map.
Great.
So here's me thinking to myself yesterday and this morning, oh, okay, this is good. I'm getting close to endgame. I'm hopefully almost near level cap, so then I can play whatever mode Rob wants to play and get some stupid achievements, and then I can stop playing it. No, here is a whole nother map.
Just keeps going.
And a whole bunch more monsters. And the one bright side is it looks like I'm going to smash that find 500 pieces of lore items thing, because if I've got a whole nother map, I'm not going to need to go looking anywhere.
Oh, sure.
Don't get me wrong, I like this game a lot. And a big story beat did just happen. 2 big story beats did just happen, which was kind of cool. And now who Wheels is that Rob was referencing like 6 months ago or whatever it is when I first started playing this game. And no, it's not a Burger King Kids Club joke, because I didn't have that in my country, I don't think. Well, that and also bubble thing. I live in my own bubble. Go away. Yeah, the game continues to be above average, but nothing really special.
Right.
Like Destiny 2, for all of its faults, it has some of the best feeling combat in video games, period.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what Bungie does. Bungie makes fantastic feeling combat. And they can clearly do a variety of it based on the Halo approach, and then based on this approach that they have with this too. The combat in Outriders is fine. The story is fine.
Right.
The side missions are fine. It's good, but it's not top of the class great kind of thing.
I feel like that's
keep stringing you along.
Well, I feel like that's always been People Can Fly's problem. Like, a studio I really love, they make good games that like always just fall short in enough ways to keep it from greatness. Like, even the Gears game they made had some really cool ideas, but just never like got close enough to that level of greatness. Like, Bulletstorm is also a really great game that just never like took the next step where it needed to go.
Bulletstorm didn't get over the marketing. That's what Bulletstorm failed to get over.
Right.
Because what we failed to remember about Bulletstorm is Bulletstorm was an Unreal Engine game that came out and was like, yo, dude, colors.
Right.
Do colors.
We can't do colors, which I guess is Outriders' early game problem, which is like, there are not a lot of colors in this area, or any marketing materials were showing at all.
Wait until you get to anomaly areas, and it's
Well, I mean,
all
and that's the problem. Like, I've seen a lot of stuff from later in the game. It's beautiful and like has great art direction, like really fantastic stuff. And the beginning of the game looks incredible. Like the sort of
the
the
prologue
intro area looks really great. But everything they show, even in their own videos, it's like, yeah, here's the brown like World War II trenches. Good luck. It's just like, why?
Uh-huh.
Why are you showing this? Stop.
Yep. I don't know. Outriders right now, at least, is very good for me as that. I'm just going to click my brain down a couple of notches.
Right.
I'm going to hold the right trigger. And then if people start to kill me too much, I'm just going to turn the world tier down because I'm not in it for that right now.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to push myself to grind against something that apparently is not a games as a service game, but has world tiers and loot drops and everything else.
And loot farming and
yeah, everything else that games as a service games have.
It's just missing a battle pass.
Yeah, like it has all the
Yes,
trappings
essentially.
except for like here's season 1. Like it doesn't have that.
Does it have a second, like a pay currency or a second currency? I don't remember.
Nope.
It doesn't have any of that. It seems like it should, but like it doesn't have any of it.
Yeah, but no, it's been my. I like the snarky attitude of my character.
Mm-hmm.
I like the drunk Russian fella. I like the strange. Nope. Giant spoiler. I'm not going to talk about that right now.
Oh, the lady that's got a spider inside of her. Oh no! It's like that's probably not a spoiler, but
no, it's not.
Hopefully not.
She did end up eating a cat to eat the spider, and then she had to eat a dog to eat the cat. And
right.
It was a downward spiral from there.
That's right.
Critical Misses season.
I was waiting for you. Season 6, episode 1.
There's a whole book about it too. I've got them all for my daughter upstairs.
There you go.
But no, it's fine. It is literally the definition of fine, and it probably helps that this is on Game Pass, which we're large proponents of. So I don't have to worry about paying for this for a while. So we'll see how that goes. I've still got all of the Yakuza games to play now. So,
right. There's just 8 of them. No big deal.
Yeah, just 8 of them. And, Judgment is apparently coming soon. And Judgment 2 is being announced.
Right.
And everything else is going. And it's just like, oh no, too many games. I have 300 installed, dude. My hard drive trick is not working.
Your hard drive is bulging.
I was going to say, you don't have to play every video game.
I do.
I'm going to try.
But this is the funny thing, is the reason why my hard drive trick isn't working is because somebody got me into Destiny 2 again.
I don't know who. Yeah, we're all trying to find who did that. Where'd he go? Who is that?
Sure. But Outriders is fine. Play it if you like to play it. Don't play it if you don't want to play it. That's fine. I will rope Robin at some point to help me get whatever endgame achievements I need to get, and then it will probably be that was cool. Uninstall.
Yeah.
I might get back into it to check it out again because I was having real issues with the Xbox S, the Xbox One S, not Series S. God, that naming convention still sucks.
Man.
Their naming sucks, but their save transfer is great. Anyway, that's all I've been playing.
Right.
So, Nimp, tell me about you and why have you been playing?
I have been playing Scarlet Nexus this week.
So jealous.
Oh, new listeners, he's the JRPG guy, the hardcore JRPG guy, just so you know.
I've got non-JRPGs on here this week, too.
Hey.
I know, right? I tried to branch out a little bit.
Right.
That went in some interesting directions.
But let's start off with, like, the most anime JRPG.
Yeah. So, Scarlet Nexus, still really great.
Yeah.
Really love this game. Story goes from 0 to 60 rather quickly.
Great.
It is not your standard, play this for 40 hours, and then, hey, you'll finally start to get the little, as Moon says, nubbins of story along the way. No, this is like phase 2. There's already a mystery that they're kind of cluing you into.
Nice.
Phase 3, everything's already off the rails.
It's like a SMT Nocturne where the intro is the end of the world. It's like, okay, cool, great. We're starting off hot.
So if you've played the demo, it's pretty much just the demo for a little bit. There's some changes. In the demo, you had access to more powers. You had more access to team members. And this one, it's all brought back down. So you've only got whichever character you chose and then one other character with you. You don't have all the other team's powers yet. I still haven't even unlocked that. And I'm like 6 hours into the game so far.
Oh, okay.
So there's things that I know that I can do in these levels that I just can't yet because I was able to do it in the demo.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. Some of the enemies are a little different, but not that much different. And then you fight the same boss that you did in the demo, and then the game continues. Like I said, so first, and they don't call them chapters, they call them phases. So the first phase is pretty much just your demo section, and then the story continues on from there. And you get introduced to like this city area that you get to go to now. Go explore that. It has some really good music. A lot of the music in this game is really awesome to listen to.
I have heard some of it, and this is the composer's first game too. Like it is shockingly good.
The guy goes from like dubstep to jazz to you're hearing like record beats and scratches to just smooth classical. I mean, the guy's all over the place, and it's awesome.
Nice.
It's a really fun game to play, but like I said, I hit phase 2. I'm not going to spoil anything because it goes into spoilers real quick, which is really surprising. I don't know how long this game is going to be, but phase 2, they introduce you to kind of a mystery that's happening in the background. You're like, okay, I'm guessing this is the thing that I'm going to end up focusing on and figuring out. And you continue on, and then something major happens at the end of phase 2. And you're like, oh, wow, okay, so we're going full on into this mystery right now.
Right.
You get your little interlude in between where you go to your hangout. You get to give gifts to your party members. You increase their stats. They do more things for you in battle. Yeah, standard JRPG stuff.
Yep.
Then phase 3 happens and starts out kind of normal. There's some weird things that are kind of happening, maybe some mind manipulation. You're not entirely sure.
Sure.
And then the end of phase 3, like I said, everything goes off the rails. The mystery that I thought was going to be the thing is probably still the thing, but there's this whole other big thing that just happened that's like, okay, now I need to figure out what this is.
Right.
And yeah, like I said, I'm only 6 hours into this game, and it's already off the wall.
It's cooking.
Yeah.
It sounds like it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally this would be something I'd be getting 20 hours into a game. So...
Yeah, and it'd be like, all right, now let's explain, introduce one of your characters. It's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Scarlet Nexus, really fun.
Yeah.
Really enjoying it. Combat is still, it's still a little off with the lock-on. Your lock-on works normally, but your character doesn't focus on what you've locked onto. So you still have to pay attention to attacking it. Like, if you just lock onto something and keep attacking, if you weren't facing the enemy or just off to the side, they'll just kind of keep whiffing it in the air until you turn them towards the enemy. So that's kind of a weird thing that I've had to get used to. And besides that, though, everything feels great. Really love this game.
Nice.
Moving on to my next thing. I guess it's not really a game, but I found... Go ahead.
This isn't That Thing show.
Oh, it's gonna be That Thing show. I finally got a hold of a Series X.
Hey, congrats.
Yeah, I happened to be on Best Buy's website when they dropped both PS5s and Series X's. Did not get a PS5. Those were instantly gone.
Musen got more. You're fine.
Yeah, Musen got his.
Yeah, which is fine. Everyone get what you can. But like when I went to Best Buy to pick it up, 3 guys were there. They had to go through like all this identification stuff to verify I was who I said I was. I had to show them the email. They had to scan the barcode. They had to look at an ID and all this other fun stuff. And then I got congratulated by like 3 or 4 people out of the door.
A bunch of jealous people. Like, there he goes. He got one. Look at him.
So it's like you were the first in line for the Pokemon cards, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I didn't have to worry about getting stabbed though, so that's a plus.
That's a plus.
So I got home, I set it up, it's sitting on my shelf, it's vertical. The thing barely fits vertically in my shelf. It's still that tall.
I had to move my television forward uncomfortably far on the television stand I use to be able to have my Xbox sit behind my television, because it's the only place it would fit.
Yeah, mine fits horizontally in my TV stand, but it was a little bit of a tighter squeeze than I expected.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be that close. And if I ever go to put a disc in this thing, I have to pull it out so I have enough room to kind of,
Yep.
feed it a CD in properly. So-
Hey, good luck putting a PS5 in there somewhere.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
man. I'm looking at the shelf right now. I was like, I think I can do it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Squeeze it in and just sand off the edges. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So setting it up, not that big of a deal. The only thing I kept running into was it kept wanting to connect wirelessly, not through the landline.
Yep.
And looking it up online, everything online was like, oh, there's something wrong with your phone or your console. I'm like, no, it's neither of these things. They're both working properly.
I ran into that same problem.
Yeah, it's like I just need it to connect to the cable that I physically have in the stupid thing.
Right.
Eventually, I was able to get it to get past the Wi-Fi thing,
Yep.
and then it found the Ethernet cable, and then everything started.
And then it was like,
working.
oh, the internet. Right. And it's like, yes,
Exactly.
Geez, come on.
Yeah, so got all that set up, my console set up, my games are on there, and the first thing that I do to test this thing with, Elite Dangerous.
I was gonna say, look at those load times.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Game goes from taking about it was probably about almost a minute on an S.
Easy a minute, especially last time I loaded it was on the Series X. No, on the One X, and that was at least a minute on the One X, let alone the OG Xbox.
Right.
So this thing cuts it down to like maybe 10 seconds
Mhm.
from like splash screen to in-game playing.
It's nuts.
I'm not used to that at all.
Right.
So that's pretty awesome. So
I think Chuck said it best, like over on BMF Cast No Quarters. I think he said it best is like, because when we all got ours, we all got them right when the world was turning to hell for a couple of weeks / months. More turning to hell for a couple of weeks / months. I was like, cool. All these new consoles mean that I don't have time to go check Twitter and doom scroll anymore.
Exactly.
So that's great.
Yep.
yeah. So stop touching Elite Dangerous because I knew if I did it, I would keep wanting to play. So I put that aside. I checked out the Medium.
Oh yeah.
Didn't get probably played it for about 2 hours. I wasn't entirely sure what this game was. I thought it was supposed to be a horror game or whatever, and maybe it still is. I don't know. Well, yeah. The part I'm at now is I just started. I'm past the intro and I'm onto some Russian resort thing that's been abandoned for like 20 years or something like that. I just got inside of that thing and was like, all right, cool. I'll come back to this later because it just started doing the split screen where you're seeing the real world and I guess like the spirit world or whatever. Game looks gorgeous. I had to turn up the brightness on the game because the default that it had it set on made everything so dark that even in a dark room I couldn't see what was around me.
Right.
So that was cool. The next game that I tested out with that was Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh man,
another good choice.
Never played either this one or the new one. So I was like, all right, cool. It's on Game Pass. Let me just load it and check it out. This was another game that I had to turn the brightness up on because I got to a certain forest and it was just everything was black. Couldn't see anything. So I bumped that all the way up. And I'm like, I'm trying to remember, what am I doing in this stupid game? I have a seal so that I can get to the Forlorn Ruins in the Valley of Winds, I think.
That sounds like something in that game.
That sounds like Ori stuff.
Yeah.
I did like a Lost Woods section where I still don't have a map for the area, so I still don't know. Like, I'm still just kind of running around trying to figure out how I'm supposed to get to where I'm getting. But it's been a lot of fun. Looks really great.
Yeah.
Controls really well. I didn't know it was a Metroidvania game. I thought it was just a platformer game.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I spent
Metroidvania.
Yeah, so that's why I spent a lot of time on this game this week.
Right.
Gee, it's almost like all three of us have problems of some kind with games that have Metroidvania or like in title.
Yeah.
Well, and I keep testing and doing stupid things. Like I have the ability now where I can do either I can rush something or I can, if they shoot a projectile at me, I can like kind of jump off of it and send it wherever.
That move is so cool.
Yeah.
Man.
It took a while to get used to that.
Yeah.
But now I'm just doing it all over the place. But I ran into, my wife was watching me play it, and there was like this rhino looking thing that you can't attack because it has a hard shell. And in the area that it was in, there was like these stones that were dropping down if you ran under them. So it's like, okay, I bet you I just have to lure it over here, jump over it, stone drops, boom, it's dead. And yeah, that's what's happened. And I was like, making fun of, it's like, oh, this stupid rhino thing, and wasn't paying attention, walked under a stone and got smashed. And that is when my Series X informed me that it just created a video clip.
Right.
So I'm like, video clip of what? So I pull that up, and it's that section of me jumping over this rhino thing, it getting smashed. You can see me run, jump up, stop for a second where I'm probably telling my wife, "Ha, stupid rhino," and then I get smashed.
Thanks, Series X.
I did not realize Ori had the auto clips.
Yeah,
kind of
I didn't
thing with
either.
it.
I don't even know
good.
what's it auto clipping for. Like, is there a specific reason it's doing it, or?
So it's almost non-existent these days, but back when this generation first, well, not this generation, the last generation first came out and it had that clipping capability,
Yeah.
games would just be like, oh, you've just done something cool, I'm just going to take a clip for you just in case you want to save it. Cue me playing FIFA, and then every single time you score a goal, it's like, clip recorded, you made a great save, clip recorded, tackle, clip recorded.
This one was probably because you killed a boss and died immediately right after.
I was wondering that because I was like, oh, it's just taking a video of me being an idiot. That's great.
Yeah.
And whatever. So
It's so good.
So yeah, so from there, I kind of bounced around to a bunch of different games. Went back and played Slime Rancher. You don't have to write any of these down. These are just like quickies. Played some more Slime Rancher. Got my son into Celeste because he was going on and about how awesome he's been doing.
Nice.
So I was like, all right, you here, play this.
Right.
He was having a really tough time as of Friday. As of before the start of this podcast, he is on the summit.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so showing off now is what you're saying.
Yeah.
A little bit. I'm going to check him to see if he's got any of the God mode things on.
Right.
Really wreck his day. But so yeah, just been doing a lot of bouncing before. Touched a little bit of Astroneer. That's a game. I did the tutorial.
That's an experience.
Dude, for me, there's two experiences which have been remarkably similar despite how different the two games are. And that's Astroneer and Subnautica, where it's like, you jump in, you start, and you're like, some cool concepts here. And then 7 days pass, and you're like, oh, I'm 80 hours in. Oh,
no.
My biggest thing was it kept, so like with the whole backpack thing and how you can move stuff around and how you can build from it and stuff, I wasn't fully understanding what it wanted me to do. And it also doesn't help that, like with the furnace, it's telling you, okay, put this whatever on the furnace so that you can make this. I'm trying to figure out what it wants me to have, but while I'm looking at the furnace, it's giving me the tooltip over it, telling me what a furnace is that's over the thing that I'm trying to read. So I'm trying to move the camera so the tooltip bubble will move out of my way.
Right.
Whole weird thing. But anyway, that's been my whole thing with Xbox this week.
Nice.
Small recommendation: go give one of the Forza Horizons a shot.
Yeah,
I got to re-download 4, but then I kind of was like, well, 5's like just around the corner.
Yeah,
so...
I could just wait until 5. Yeah,
you don't want to burn yourself out on it. Probably not intent before anybody says anything.
Well, because I played a lot of 3. I think I'm like halfway through 4 right now before I kind of got burnt out, and that was kind of my thing. It's like, well, yeah, I can pop in 4 and check it out. And it's like, or I can just wait till 5 and see
when's
what
that coming
happens.
out? September?
I thought it was September, November.
It's pretty close, yeah.
So,
dude, don't say that. Don't say that, dude. It's July. Do not say September.
Halfway through this nightmare year, 2019. Halfway through, right?
The last game that you guys aren't aware, but I am actually playing right now.
Oh no!
Like right now? Like
right now. Like
Soda Dungeon 2.
Looking off to the side at my screen, my actual TV, not my monitor.
Ah, naughty.
Disgaea 6.
No, there it is.
No. We're in so much trouble, Boston.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bring it up a whole lot, but
sure you're not. What's your What photo do you use on everything again?
Oh, just a printy. Different
That's right, dude.
variants and yeah.
Yeah.
So, Disgaea 6, everybody.
Yeah. Here we go.
These stories are never anything great. They're good.
Yeah.
They're fun. They're funny, but nothing to ever really write home about. You play as a zombie right now,
Mhm.
whose name is Zed.
Okay, that's new.
Great.
Yep. You have a dog, who's
Wait,
also a zombie.
You're not the zombie from Disgaea 1, are you, with the horse pee-pee?
No.
I forgot
And I know
about
who you're
that.
talking about.
Oh man.
No.
Okay. What a blast from the past, man. Okay. Moving quickly on.
I stole that thing faster than you care to admit.
Yep.
So you also have a dog with you whose name is Cerberus.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Cerberus happens to be a reincarnated, he calls himself a super sage. So instead of being turned into a prinny, he was turned into a zombie dog.
Okay. Great. I love that this is still Disgaea through and through.
Yes.
Okay.
Your main character is still foul-mouthed. Nothing terribly obscene. It is still a T-rated. I think this is T-rated. Pretty sure. Anyway. It's nothing super obscene, but loudmouth, pretty foul. Parts of him are always falling off because he's a zombie.
Great.
Story opens up where you are supposed to be fighting the god of destruction, who is like the most powerful thing anywhere in any universe, multiverse, dimension, whatever.
I love how much the Disgaea and Dragon Ball stories just cross over all the time.
Yeah.
It is pretty much the same thing. You put any Dragon Ball Z characters in here and it will work.
Yeah.
Especially with the training that you do with this. So the whole point of this story is that you have already beaten the god of destruction, and the game is kind of recapping how did a zombie who's supposed to be considered like one of the lower life forms of the netherworld defeating this ultimate thing of destruction across all these unlimited dimensions and stuff like that.
Right.
So every time your character dies, not in game but in story, he gets super reincarnated, which is basically just the reincarnation system.
Okay.
But it makes him stronger, restarts him, but his stats stay the same.
I see.
Question.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Is this a roguelike?
No,
Okay.
it is.
Good.
It is.
I just wanted to make sure we're not putting it on that list.
No.
No.
God, no.
This game
All right,
on
the
that
next
list.
2 years we're playing Disgaea 6.
Exactly. No, this is a strategy RPG or a super RPG, as they've just been calling it as a joke, and then that kind of took off apparently since Disgaea 3.
That's really good.
Yeah. So every time in the story he gets beat, he gets reincarnated, and then he keeps the same stats and all that stuff, but his level goes back down to 1, and then he just keeps getting stronger and stronger from there, and then he eventually beats the god of destruction. Super reincarnation is just, if you've ever played a Disgaea game, it's just the reincarnation system again. So you can choose to do super reincarnation. That's just what they're calling it now. There is a ton of systems going on here that I'm not even going to touch in this segment right now, because I'm still trying to figure out what all the systems are in this game.
Right.
Wait, hold on. Disgaea has a lot of systems in it?
Yeah. Newsflash.
This is new. They must have added more to the game since the
I
first
have
one.
unlocked the Evil Tea Store, quests, Squad Shop, a juice bar, the Dark Assembly, and what was the other thing I just unlocked?
Item World. Item World. Item World.
Oh yeah, Item World. I just
Item
unlocked
World!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't celebrate the item world.
No, that's why I stopped playing these games, because Item World is too good, and there's literally infinite number of these things.
Item World is literally another world within these worlds. So if you ever beat all of the maps, guess what? Each individual item in this game has its own item world that goes to 100 floors, has an item boss, general, super boss.
Randomly generated.
Yeah. Every time you beat them and get these bosses and you add people into them, it increases the strength of that item.
It's real bad. It's a real problem for me.
So terrible.
So many bars, man.
Yep. Man.
So, getting to how I am currently playing this game right now, and being on this podcast at the same time, is that they have added several quality of life things.
Ooh.
Is there an
Well-
auto battler? Wait, does it play itself now?
Maybe.
Lots of JRPGs do that nowadays.
So every time you beat a map, your characters automatically get healed, and I believe it's automatically taking money out to heal your characters. I'm not 100% positive on that,
Okay.
but so you don't have to keep going back into your hub world to heal up all your characters. It's just every time you beat a map, all your characters are already revived and fully healed and all that stuff. So you
That's
can
great.
just go right back in. It does have auto battler in it,
Yeah.
which I will get into another thing. It also has automatic restart. So when you're in auto battle and they
Nice.
beat the map, it will automatically restart that level for you with your
Yeah.
characters already healed, which is currently what's happening on my TV
You're
right
just
now.
farming
This
for a couple hours
entire
here.
podcast. Yep. They have been grinding evil teas for me right now.
Great.
So, Cheat Shop is still in the game.
Okay.
This right now just makes it so that everything for like experience, mana, money, all this other stuff, all the bars are set to 100. If you want your characters to start earning more experience and maybe you don't need as much mana or money, you tick it down, and
Right.
then all those points you can tick up into something else, and I think it maxes out at 200 still.
Oof.
Okay.
So you can keep messing around with all those sliders and all that fun stuff. They have gambits,
Oh no.
but
Dude, Boston, do me a favor, just go take a bathroom break while we.
Yeah. Bye. See you later. Bye.
this
Self-preservation.
gambit system is way more in depth. They call it the Demon Intelligence (DI).
That's really good.
It
oh
is-
no.
Way more in depth than Final Fantasy 12 gambit system or any other type of auto system that you use that I've seen so far.
Right.
It still follows the if then kind of logic,
Right.
but it's who, what, when are your three stats.
Interesting. Okay.
All right. So you can set it up in it. It gets like super in depth where specifically I want since my main character Zed, who's a zombie, takes more fire damage than any other unit, I can
Sure.
specifically set his DI to hunt down any enemy that uses fire magic, and he will move to them and he will attack them with whatever I give them. Give him to
Wow,
attack
okay.
with.
That's cool.
And it also has the order tier where it's like, obviously, this is the main order. If nothing fills in that gap, it moves on to the next order and so on and so forth. You can set these up so that they break, where your character just sits there in auto battle and can't do anything because you screwed up your DI commands. So they'll just sit there, and then you have to go back through and figure out, okay, why isn't this command working right now?
Right. Also, now that you've mentioned this game is auto battling for you, I'm now seeing white flashes on the right side of your face,
same.
and I'm just like, oh, there, it's working.
That's female Laharl doing Magna Geyser EX right now.
Right. Oh man.
So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this game.
Yeah.
Off the bat, there was already 5 characters that they gave you for free
Wow.
that you could download. Female Laharl. Who else? I'm not even going to remember right now. But basically, they give you like older characters from previous Disgaea games.
Mhm.
They also gave like 6 characters. I guess they had something with like HoloLive people. So there's like
Okay.
6 characters that look like them, kind of.
6
that are in here.
VTubers.
Yeah.
Right. That's
So I
cool.
just randomly have them, and I have like 19 party members right now, and I think I've only
Jeez.
created like 5 of them. So
Wow.
there's a lot going on with this game.
Man.
Yeah, right now everyone just hit 700 right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
No big
So-
deal. Still Disgaea.
nah, it's really great.
For
So,
anyone that hasn't played these games, that's level 700 also.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually think they bumped up the. I think they bumped the cap
they add
up again,
another
but it
digit?
used to be 9,999.
Yeah.
Did they
I think
have
it's
another
higher in this
digit
one.
there?
Yeah, they're probably at like 999,999. But
Man.
so yeah, that is all I've been playing this week. Just trying to decipher everything that is being thrown at me on Disgaea right now. So,
Yeah.
Just before we move on, you mentioned Lahal. Can we all agree Lahal is Vegeta? Yes?
Probably. Yeah.
always angry.
Yeah,
Try to live up to a name that he doesn't technically really need to live up to.
yeah, that's true.
And they're
2
both
thumbs up.
princes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Apparently, you do get him in the story. He's not a DLC character, but you do eventually unlock him, Etna, and Fallen Angel Flan.
That's great.
And I am
Ah, man,
super looking
Disgaea.
forward to that.
So good. All right, I didn't talk about this last week, or the last couple weeks, because I talked about it for the last couple of years. Final Fantasy V Forge Out Fiesta has started. I'm really not going to belabor this at this point. Either you have heard of it before and you know how it works. If not, go to forgeoutfiesta.com. He updated the information on the site. It's way clearer about what this is. I completed my first run. It was a Thief, Berserker, Ranger, Mystic Knight run, which, if you've played Final Fantasy V before, you realize that is a really rough beginning and a really easy end, and that is exactly how it went. The beginning was brutally difficult, and I one-shotted the final dungeon. Except for Twintania, because that's always a problem. I even beat the final boss in my first try, and with no difficulty at all. It was incredible. So that was a Berserker Risk Chaos run. The second run I'm on right now is just a regular Chaos run. It is a Ranger, Bard, Samurai, Ranger run, which, if you've also played Final Fantasy V, you'll realize those jobs don't show up for a very long time. So I just got the Black Chocobo, which means I got my first jobs all the way there in the game. So that has been for freelancers running through that game, which is very difficult and very easy at the same time.
I was going to ask, if you get jobs that are like not until the end of the game, do you just have to stay freelancer, or
Yep.
do you just pick something until you get
No,
them?
you got to stay freelancer. Yeah.
Man, that's
Which
rough.
is good and bad at the same time, because like you don't really have any skills, but you can equip any weapon or armor. So there's some easy ways you can break the game, but with some pretty significant downsides. And I'm not getting any job experience. So like I just picked up those 2 jobs, and all of my characters are now starting to level up their jobs. And that's going to be rough.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting this run to end up being pretty straightforward. But if you're playing the Fiesta, come join the Discord server. We have a Fiesta channel that's hopping this year. There's a good number of us playing and sharing our tales of woe and pain for where our runs are going. So come and join us there. Ratchet and Clank.
You have a whole bunch of crazy people.
Yes.
You know, so
Yeah. Myself, Monkey, Hannah, we're all kind of crazy here. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Sorry, I just keep trying to say it's Into the Nexus. That was a couple games ago. Finished it.
Nice.
What an incredible game. I probably finished that at like 12, 15 hours-ish. I really took my time on a lot of that stuff. Ending was incredible. The story was fantastic. The final area, all of the fights there were all really great. Storyline wrapped up fantastically, like they always do. If you have a PS5, you really need to play Ratchet and Clank. I then spent a handful of hours and got the platinum. That was really easy, except for one trophy, because I hadn't been using the weapon. There's I don't remember what it starts off as, but once you hit level 5 with it, it becomes the Void Repulsor. Essentially, you put out a shield in front of you that absorbs enemy bullets, and then when you use that with L2, when you pull R2, it shoots the bullets back at the enemies. You needed to kill like 20 enemies with the absorbed bullets that you shoot back out. The reason why that was a problem is I hadn't really used that gun, so I needed to level all the way up before I could start using it. I did spend a little bit of time on challenge mode, which is as fun as it usually is. If anyone hasn't played challenge mode in Ratchet and Clank, you typically get less experience on your character. Enemies are harder, so they take way more shots. your weapons get increased experience, and they can break the previous level cap of 5, so they can go to 10, and you buy upgraded versions. You buy the Omega versions of all of them that are typically even stronger and have bigger, essentially upgrade trees inside the weapons. And it has the bolt multiplier like it does. It goes up to 5. The more enemies you kill, the higher that multiplier goes until you get hit. So you're typically, in the main game, you're like, the most expensive stuff is like 40,000 bolts. In this, like in the intro level, you're like, yeah, now I got 300,000. No big deal. Don't worry about it. So I probably won't finish that because I would rather not play more of this because I'm sort of done with it and I don't want to burn myself out on it. There's other stuff for me to play, but Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, really great. Really excited to see where they're going to go with the storyline after this. And I hope we see another one of those on this on PS5 because we only got one on PS4, and that platform was around for too long for just one. And I want to see more.
And it was technically kind of a remake of the first game, but not really. So
yeah, it was like a remake / like story retelling of like they couched it in a pretty good way where it's like, oh, remember when we met? It was like, ah, yes, I do. And then go play the game, and the end was pretty much like, yeah, that was fun. All right, let's move on. Let's go find those Lombaxes. So yeah, Rift Apart, really good. They also just put in 120 hertz mode, which of course they did as soon as I'm done with it, so I'm probably not going to check that out, but it's really good. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, you also give it the best recommendation that you can give games these days, which is like, yo, I wish this wasn't over kind of thing.
Yeah, like I'm bummed there isn't more. Like everything in there was incredibly high quality, and like I think there were 8 or 9 planets, which is pretty standard for Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
But like there's just so much of it that's so good that I want to keep going. But like challenge mode is good, but I'm largely just gonna play the game again, and it's a little harder. Like I could turn on mirror mode because I collected all the gold bolts. There's only 25 of them. Like there's mirror mode back in this. Like there's essentially grunt birthday party mode, which of course I turned on. There's RPG mode, so every time you hit an enemy, a little yellow white number comes up, yellow if you crit them. So like there's a bunch of fun stuff, but it's still going to be playing through the game again, which I'd rather just have played it and said like, yeah, that was great. I wish there was more. But moving on to other stuff. And I got to figure out what I'm going to play next. I did check in on 2 games this week that I haven't played for a while. I realized I love Dungeon of the Endless. Let's just get this out of the way. It is a nearly incomprehensible, impossibly difficult game. I really can't recommend to pretty much anybody because it's really great, and it is really hard, and it is one of the most trial and error games until it clicks, and people probably won't put the time into it to make it click, and it has almost no tutorials. I love it.
Yes.
I think it's incredible. Like
very quickly, we did our shows on it.
Yeah, we did 4 episodes on We Roguelike It about it, and I love it. And I'm still salty it doesn't work on the PS5. PS5 has been out long enough that I'm gonna assume it's not gonna get a patch at this point. That's fine. That sort of sucks, but like I understand. It is also the only game that isn't backwards compatible of all of the games I've tried, which is the worst because I was largely done with getting the platinum on that game, and I wanted to do all the super difficult stuff. So I fired up my Series X and I was like, all right, I have another super powerful console here with like a super powerful SSD. Let's try it over here. Didn't realize it just went off of Game Pass, so I bought it and started playing that a little bit. And Oh boy, playing that on something that isn't the last gen of consoles is a really different experience where it runs at 60 frames and doesn't take over a minute to load a level, and those load times increase dramatically the further you get into a run. It's been really great. Dungeon of the Endless is fantastic, and I'm really happy. And it was only $12. It's like, that's fine. I'll support this team. You know.
So are you going to be playing the spiritual sequel whenever that thing comes out? Endless Dungeon.
100%. Yeah, I will pick up Endless Dungeon, the not sequel to Dungeon of the Endless, which is really crazy. Yeah, everything I keep seeing about Endless Dungeon looks like they took this game and they made it isometric and turned it into kind of like a co-op run and gun shootery sort of thing where you're still taking care of the crystal, but it's not this like room by room kind of strategy layout thing. So I will definitely check it out. But I don't even know if that has a release date yet. I'm not sure. The next run and gun co-op JRPG I'm looking forward to is The Ascent, coming out this month, that hopefully Moon and I will be able to play together, because that's coming out on Game Pass and it looks cool.
I have it pre-installed, dude.
I do too. Just waiting for my console to say, "Yo, let's go." I think that comes out on the 28th or 29th or something. But my final game, I remembered we had recently talked about Neon Abyss's post-launch patches, and I said, "Yeah, all right, check out some Neon Abyss." Also, because Neon Abyss is really great and got seemingly no coverage last year, which is a real bummer. Boy, Neon Abyss is even better now.
No, don't say that, dude, because I literally highlighted it today and almost launched it. I was like, I could play some Neon Abyss.
Oh, man, Moon, they've done so much to this. New bosses, new enemies, new items and weapons, new floors in the club, and most importantly, new room layouts. So, like, they kind of took everything in the game and just said, all of this was working well, here's way more variety. Neon Abyss is still really good. So if anyone hasn't listened to the We Rogue Like It, or I think I put Neon Abyss on my top 10 list last year, I believe. Neon Abyss is a 2D side-scrolling dual-stick shooter roguelike. And
That's not solid, but yes.
Yeah, and it's very much like Riddled Corpses EX, where it's like you need to ignore all the marketing and like the logos and everything around this. That's not what it is.
Yeah,
it's not this like neon-tinged John Wick thing. I promise you that's not the game. This is very much inspired by Isaac and Gungeon and like a lot of the kind of big roguelikes, but it makes it its own thing. It's this kind of side-scrolling 2D platformer dual stick thing that works really, really well. And I forgot about the risk-reward system with like the red bar and the purple bar. So essentially, how it does it in the game is if you complete a room, or you complete if you complete a room without getting hurt, or you complete, let's call them like good aligned things on a floor, like using crystals or like not harming any chests, things like that, this purple bar will fill up. If it fills up all the way, you can teleport to another room on the floor that just has 2 items in it for free. And they're typically really good. If you go the other way, where you start shooting doors and turning them into like the red spiky doors, you take a lot of damage. You damage chests enough to turn them into red spiky chests. You can fill up a red bar that will teleport you to an area that has 3 really good items in it, but there's a real risk reward of like, you might largely be out of health, but you got this incredible weapon that like now your gun shoots 3 bullets at a time that like fill half the screen, and you're flying, and you got infinite shields or something. So I forgot about that system, and as soon as I remembered about that, I was like, right, Neon Abyss is full of incredible stuff, and now there's a room in the club. You can go to the elevator, and you could go down to the lab, and every weapon and item in the game is all on the wall.
Dead Cells thing with like the baubles and dead cells where they're like hanging there when you walk through the...
Yeah, but you want to know what's really cool? You can ban items now. So you can go up to the wall and say, like, this specific item I hate, I never want to do it, it ruins every single run. I want to ban this specific item or these specific items. The game lets you know if you ban too many at once, you won't be able to get any trophies or achievements. I don't know how many that is because I didn't really... The only bummer about it is it doesn't remember all of the items I picked up before. So like I went in there and there was only like 10 in there. It's like that's fine. It's a small team. I'm not expecting that, but I thought that was like the left side of the room is 380 something items, and the right side of the room is the like 85 or something weapons in the game. And I was just like, all right, you're pulling me back in. Yeah.
We also forgot to mention one of the reasons why this game pulls you back in the first place anyway. Because it's dad joke and reference central.
It really is, yeah. It's not as like punny and referential as Gungeon is. Yeah, that's like the cream of the crop. But Neon Abyss is still really good. Like if none of those terms I used to describe Neon Abyss turned you off, like go watch some trailers and stuff. Like it is a genuinely really great game that just for some reason it slipped way under the radar, and it's a real bummer because it's a real good game.
I think, to be honest, one of its main strengths is like, don't get me wrong, I adore Gungeon. But Gungeon gets bullet hell at times.
100%.
I adore Isaac, but Isaac gets kick you in the teeth sometimes.
Right. Everything is terrible.
Yes. And whereas this is very much it's a lot slower, it's a lot more steady, it's a lot more deliberately paced, so as to not overwhelm you suddenly with a room full of red stuff that you have to dodge all around.
Exactly.
It's genuinely a really nice paced one, especially if you're not into roguelikes. Like there's probably a couple you can recommend as starter ones. I would say this is one of them. The other one is going to be coming on Game Pass later this year, so
which one's that one?
Hades, dude, come on.
Oh yeah, that's August 24th, 19th, something around there. Yeah,
the 20th.
Yeah, the second half of next year. Yeah, Hades is a 100% absolute recommendation. Even if you don't like roguelikes, like this is the one to try. But Neon Abyss is...
I'll know when that one comes out because I'll load up my Xbox and it'll be like, all of my friends are playing Hades.
Like, Hades down the list, yeah. But yeah, Neon Abyss is really great. I wanted to call it out again because they've been... I've heard a lot of people saying like, oh yeah, they've been putting out a ton of free patches. And now there's like 13 characters in the game. I gotta go figure out how to unlock those and whichever ones I need to buy or whatever. Which any of the DLC is like, yeah, here's 4 characters. It's $2. It's like, oh, okay, great. But yeah, Neon Abyss is really good, and it's a super high recommendation for me, and it just seemed like they made it even better at this point. The only one of the biggest problems I think we had with it when we played it pretty quickly after launch was there wasn't enough variety in the game. Like there wasn't enough room layouts and items and stuff like that. And it seems like they have resolved that issue pretty nicely. So, yeah, that's all I'm playing this week though. So let's take a break.
Yep.
All right. Why don't you send me a text? I think she needs to see me. I'll be right back.
Okay. I will be back in just a moment.
You also. Hey, chat. How's it going? Oh. So, just looking at the news for the coming week and the releases. Anything I should buy this week? No, not particularly. I don't. Of course. Excuse me while I yawn. Of course, East is coming out with another game. Do, 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 do. But yes, hello chat. How is everybody? Hope you're all having a safe and sane 4th of July this weekend. I have literally forgotten about that like 16 times, so that's good. I have a Louise eyeballing me from the side, so I'm just going to make sure she doesn't ruin my recording. But no, not about that today. Weather's been okay, not too hot, not too cold. Lot of shit done today, so that's good. I always like being productive.
Yeah, buddy.
Howdy.
Yeah, I've got Hades pre-installed on my Series X as well.
Yeah. He's like, yep, just give it to me. Okay, just put it in my veins, like now. Like,
Wasn't
I've
it-
already...
Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, wasn't Neon Abyss on Game Pass as well?
It is on Game Pass, yes.
Okay.
So that might be worth loading up your Xbox app and hitting install to Xbox. Just to give you...
God, isn't having to install that stupid app onto my phone.
They just
Actually,
updated
no,
it
not
where
that.
it lets me know my favorite friends have signed online now. Hooray!
Yeah.
So I get a
hey,
push
I have-
notification that's like, Moonpir just signed online. It's like, hell yeah, here we go.
I have
Now
all my
you
captures
know
on
it
here.
says Moonpir is playing Destiny.
That's right.
I wish
Insane.
you could do that, like assign your favorite people and your favorite games.
Yep.
So then, if your favorite people started playing your favorite games, then you would get a notification that someone you like playing with is playing something you like to play.
100%.
Well, and
I
then
wonder if Xbox still has that suggestion thing. that
Yeah, I wonder.
maybe
Hmm.
my son
Hmm.
started playing Moonlighter too.
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
a great game.
I didn't realize what all that was, and then I saw that he was opening up a shop to sell the stuff that he got in dungeons.
Yep.
Like, oh no,
Yep.
this is
Mhm.
100% something I want to play.
It's really good.
Moonlight is a fucking incredible game that fucked my gamer score up, and I still haven't forgiven it for it because I
Yep.
have to beat that game now, which includes new game plus playthrough and perfecting all of the bosses.
Oh, heaven
Jeez.
help you.
Uh-huh. Thanks, Boston.
Hey, no problem. All right, you guys ready
So-
to wrap this up?
Yeah, but just before we do, I got into a heated discussion with a community member.
Mm-hmm.
One, Rob Brainy Rob,
Mm-hmm.
who has no respect for the Fast and the Furious movies,
How dare you?
and he keeps calling them the equivalent of garbage.
They're enjoyable garbage, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Family.
But I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, all of the Fast and the Furious memes are hitting my inbox like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out in the last couple days, which is interesting.
Uh-huh. Like, there was one on the Destiny forum,
Yep.
I think, in the Discord.
Yeah, that was really good.
He sent me this one from Jurassic Park 2.
Yep, I just saw that one today.
He also...
Yeah, it's all like
copied-
X is strong, but family is stronger, and he's holding a shotgun.
Yes. I got this one today.
The Olive Garden. It's great.
Uh-huh. And like all of a sudden, just every single every way of getting in contact with me online essentially is now getting flooded with Fast and Furious memes,
Great.
which I'm fine with because I adore the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah.
And if you don't like them, then there's a problem with you
That's right.
because you're not a family member.
Yeah. Just crack open a Corona and enjoy the movie.
And maybe not the Corona.
The drink.
Yes.
Corona's
I also
like
did
the closest near beer that I can drink.
Yeah.
Also, Moon, you froze for me.
Yay!
Hey.
There we go.
Am I back? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, there's another one here which is, hey, Batman looks like he'd use a hand. Dom, how did you get into the DC universe? You don't need logic when you got family.
That's right.
And then, sad Batman, because he doesn't have family.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
And then, sad Batman, because he doesn't have family.
That's good. Yeah, man. All right, you guys ready for the end of the show? Oh boy, we got to skip questions again this week. I'm out of time. Oh man, too many games, too much good stuff to talk about. All right. Oh, did Moon? Oh, no, he's okay. All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of July 5th, 2021. Blaster Master Zero comes out on the Xbox One and the Series X. These are the new Blaster Master games. There's 3 of them, I believe, now, and they're getting a staggered release on Xbox.
I don't know what Blaster Master is.
Blaster Master was a sort of revolutionary NES game where you could play as a robot car thing, but you could also get out of the car to do on-foot levels. It was really cool. So they're revisiting them at this point. I've heard all 3 of them are pretty good. They just haven't been on Xbox yet, so they're kind of staggering a release here.
Okay.
Next game, Silver Case, comes out on the Switch. This is Suda51's first game, or very early game. This is his visual novel from PlayStation 1, I believe. Also followed up with the 25th Award, The Silver Case, also coming out on Switch. That's the sequel that came out on PS4, I think. They're both supposed to be really good. I've come nowhere close to being able to play those, so... they seem in my wheelhouse, though. A Plague Tale Innocence comes out on Switch, PS5, and Series X. I believe the PS5 version is on PlayStation Plus this month. So don't rush out to go buy it. Maybe just give it 2 days and go snag that. Is this still on Game Pass?
I believe it is.
Yes.
Okay.
I just actually scrolled by it so I could install Neon Abyss.
Okay. I wonder if that's why your internet connection is going real wonky.
Well, I paused everything. It's just I've got everyone on everything, which I had to tell them to knock it off.
All right. Ys 9 Monstrum Nox comes out PC, Switch, and Stadia. So this is kind of coming out on all the other stuff, including Stadia, which is just a really weird platform for JRPGs, but okay, sure.
Also, I'm guessing it doesn't get an Xbox launch.
I haven't heard anything yet.
No, I think it came out on PS4 originally.
Yeah.
So they will release a JRPG on Stadia before they will release one on Xbox.
Hey, Square Enix is leading the charge here. Once they start doing it, Atlas will be the last one. So we got Falcom will get over there eventually.
It'll happen.
Get Spency on the phone. Say, hey, Falcom, get over here. You gotta.
I'm sure we'll get more Japanese developers releasing stuff on the Xbox as soon as we get to the news stories today.
Yeah, that might be a good note. A Boomerang X coming out on the PC and Switch. This is the Devolver Digital published. The developer is called Dang with an exclamation mark. This is the one where you're holding like a shuriken in one hand and your other hand is doing like crazy symbols. It's like a first-person exploration platformery thing. You have probably seen GIFs of it if you pay attention to anything Devolver Digital. So that's coming out. Crash Drive 3 comes out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, Switch, iOS, and Android. I didn't know what this was beforehand. This looks pretty fun. It's just like a behind the car arcade driving thing where you're like a bus or a cement truck, and it looks pretty fun. Go watch a trailer for it. It looks pretty cute.
It looks pretty fun, and you're all right. It does look cute. However, when you have the words "Crash" and "Drive" in a title, it makes me disappointed that it's not a sequel to Crash Team Racing.
True. That's true. Although the spiritual successor to Split Second got announced recently. I don't remember what that's called. That's coming out relatively soon, and I need that in my life very badly. And lastly, Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin comes out on PC and the Switch. I need to keep an eye on this because it's a Monster Hunter turn-based RPG, which It's right in this guy's wheelhouse. So I never played the first one, but
we can be the world family, and you can be the stories family.
Perfect. Love it. There's enough Monster Hunter for all of us. These monsters are big enough. All right, let's move on to news stories. We talked, I think it was last week, about the rumor of EA rebooting, sort of restarting the Dead Space franchise.
Yeah.
That rumor has morphed a little bit this week in an interesting way. I think it's Jeff Grubb over at GamesBeat talked about this, saying this reboot is actually a kind of quasi-remake. I feel like we kind of need a new word for this, as much as I hesitate to say that. Apparently the team is inspired by the Resident Evil 2 remake, where you kind of take the core of what made that game great, and you kind of expand and modernize it. Kind of like how Resident Evil 2 remake did, where it's like, yeah, that's Resident Evil 2, but like we kind of changed the whole thing around to be modern and kind of play how you remember it playing. That's interesting for Dead Space 1, because I feel like if this is true, that's probably the best option, which is like, yeah, leave that alone, but kind of sand the edges off of it and modernize it. That's interesting.
I don't remember it being less modern, though.
Yeah, like that's the hard part about Dead Space 1 is like you probably don't need to do too much about that. Like you could probably do a lot of what they did with the Mass Effect collection, where it's like, all right, we're gonna fix the lighting system, like make that a little bit. Oh, now it's in HDR and it's 4K and it's 60 frames. And we up-resed
and all that stuff.
And, we up-resed all the textures, and we.
The huge changes they made with RE2 were things like, hey, you can move and shoot and actually aim now. Which, spoiler alert, Dead Space, you could do all of those things in.
That's what I'm saying. It seemed like the stuff for RE2 seemed to kind of be modeled off of Dead Space to begin with, the remake stuff.
So I'm pretty sure they said that, like, hey, we wanted more of a Dead Space feel and take some of that modernization. So this is like Uncharted all over again, where it's the inspiration inspiring the original, or the original inspiring the inspiration, which then
Tomb Raider leads to Uncharted.
Inspiration.
Which leads to Tomb Raider. Yeah, this one's really interesting because I think the Dead Space YouTube channel updated their profile picture for the first time in 10 years, and everyone's like, "It's happening." That's confirmation. It's like, okay, that's sure.
Question is, did they put rainbow colors over it?
Brought to you by Wayland Yutani. I don't. This will be interesting. I think the EA Play event is later this month, so I feel like we'll probably see it. Like next week, we'll just see the trailer got listed on YouTube, and they didn't make it private or unlisted, and it was out on the internet for 30 seconds. So here we go. So you know how EA leaks usually go. Yeah. Next news story here, Xbox game streaming. I'm having a real hard time not calling it xCloud. Exits beta. If you haven't used this before and you have a Game Pass Ultimate, go to xbox.com/play. It's supported on available on all supported web browsers now and iOS devices. The Android version still works as it did before. Supported web browsers are Chrome, Safari, and Edge. And I've been playing around with this last week, and I know a lot of people were cautious about the idea of smart delivery before the console came out, and I think fairly thinking that might just be marketing BS. But man, when
it was, but it worked.
It was, and then it actually turned out to not be BS at all, which is I'm very happy about because I was right. But if you go to the website and fire up, like I was playing Hollow Knight this week on my Series X.
Of all games? Seriously?
Well, I mean, I was having a bad day, and I was like, I'm going to play Hollow Knight because whatever. I'm
just thinking if you're going to test a streaming service, maybe Hollow Knight is not the one for it, too.
I think that's the one you test because you gotta have some precision in that one, and it's incredible that on my web browser here, on my computer or on my phone, I just fire up that website and I am playing the same save I was just playing a minute ago on my phone or in Chrome. So it's pretty great. And it's a bummer it doesn't work in Firefox, but that's Firefox's fault. They blocked that codec, so fix it, Firefox. But 2 thumbs up. If you haven't tried that before and you have the connection to do so, give it a shot. It's cool.
I can't, because I would end up like just literally going to bed, taking my tablet, taking my controller, and then just playing games in bed using my tablet.
Yeah. Go from playing games to playing games.
Thing.
Yeah.
Here's when you struggle sleeping at the best of times.
That's true. Next news story here, we've got another piece of Microsoft news. Kojima of Hideo Kojima and Kojima Productions fame has signed with Microsoft for a game on Xbox platforms. So this is there's some not quite caveats here, but there's some information there. Louis sighting, yeah.
Oh, there.
So he has signed a letter of intent with Microsoft to plan for a game on Xbox platforms. So this is very much Microsoft and Kojima making a contract deal to say, yes, we want to work together to do something. So it's not, Microsoft has signed on Metal Gear Solid 6 or anything. It's very much, we want to work together. We're gonna put a ring on it. We're gonna sign a piece of paper. Here's a budget.
It's basically, it's kind of like when you sell or buy a house. It's like,
yes,
I will agree to buy this house provided that these provisos are all taken care of by the time it comes time for me to buy this house.
We all agree we're gonna do the thing.
Yes, as long as the following things are followed. If the things aren't followed, then we won't do the thing. Fine, whatever.
So
I learned a lot about letter of intent over the past 4 years. Wink, wink.
Right. So the rest of the rumors here are a little bit thin. One of the additional rumors going on is that it's going to be a streaming game, whatever that means. And allegedly there's no firm pitch at the moment. There's even questions about, is it just Kojima the person, or is it also Kojima Productions that's going to be working on this game? And there's no pitch, so this is something that could potentially come way, way later after a number of years. Not one of those things I would expect like March 3rd, 2023. Like, I don't think it's that level of... Or it might not happen at all.
This is where we get Kojima works with Platinum and makes that Beats by Dragons game that we're all interested in.
Dude, don't even tease me. That'd be great. Just the right level of craziness from both sides. That'd be great. What's that called? Scalebound?
That's it, Scalebound.
Scalebound.
Literally all I think of is dragons with headphones, so that's why I call it by Dragons.
What a great name, Scalebound. Man. Our last news story here, Remedy has officially announced that they're continuing their partnership with 505 Games, announcing 2 new Control games. Also not another game that isn't, they're sequelizing Control at this point. The first game here that I am genuinely excited about, and I'm really frustrated that people are poo-pooing it out of hand, is the first game is a multiplayer PvE co-op 4-player Control spin-off called Condor. The reason why I'm emphasizing those because people have been reading multiplayer Control and they think it's a battle royale. It's not. It's
that would be so great. Like,
it would be
like 100 objects of power jump out of an airplane.
One of them is a player.
One of them with duck. One of them's a telephone booth. Like you've got to like roll your way across an environment. Yeah, sure.
Oh my god, you can make it like the Assassin's Creed multiplayer, except you're an object in the world. Man, all right. 3 new games for Control have been announced. But this one I think is cool because I think we saw at E3 this year a lot of those 4-player cooperative Left 4 Dead-like games, and my assumption is, now 8. That's my assumption what this is going to be, and I think if you can make that a cool thing where you and 3 friends are hunting down objects of power together, I think that could be a really cool experience. I feel like people should keep their mind open on this and not just be like, yeah, you know, like it's Call of Duty, pew pew pew. Like I don't think Remedy would make one of those. You know, it's not. People are reading multiplayer and being like, well, that's gonna be crap. It's like, what? Hold on.
Yeah, but also this is Remedy working with a giant publisher.
I mean, they published Control, so they financed and published Control.
And there was a lot of issues with that. Like,
well, as a PS5 owner, yes, there was.
As anybody who
grumble.
owns a next generation console, yes, there was.
Yeah.
Not to mention the DLC exclusivity BS that they pulled.
Oh my god,
some past stuff that they pulled.
I'm so tired of exclusive DLC and stuff like that. Like, come on, it's 2021. Stop. Bungie doesn't even do it anymore for Destiny. You don't need to do it.
They got a paycheck for it. That's the most important thing, is they got a paycheck for it, which maybe Remedy wouldn't have done. And I'm pretty sure someone at Remedy got in trouble for saying, yes, we did not want to do this. It was not our decision.
That's true. The other game they announced was a, quote, bigger budget Control game, end quote. It's probably safe to assume that's a Control sequel. So you've got your multiplayer thing over here. You probably have your Control sequel over there. I don't know how the DLC ends because I haven't gone through Control again to get to the DLC. So hopefully it continues that storyline. Insert what happened here on the Wikipedia page, maybe. But I'm happy to see Remedy continue to get some very good financing. The numbers they put in their press release are big. For like, here's the budget and here's how many, like 300 something people working at Remedy now. So like, it's
they're
nice.
Also working on the 2 games for Xbox. Like one of them is that multiplayer shooter that they're working on with the campaign. They're doing a campaign for it.
What's that one called?
I don't know, Project Glass Shatter or something.
Probably. Let's look at their website here. I just want to. Well, they're hiring a lot right now. Sure, so I don't need to see all that. Genre-finding game. They're working on Crossfire. Right, Crossfire X. The largest video game in somewhere in the world that is definitely not North America. Because
No, I'm pretty sure it's the largest video game in the world, period.
Yeah, it's massively... Man, I didn't know they made Death Rally back in 1996. I loved that game on PC. Okay, closing the website. But yeah, I'm very happy to see Remedy continuing to kind of get the financial support they need, because all the games they've put out have always been really great. They just need someone to continue to finance them to keep putting out stuff. And I hope people keep an open mind about Codename Condor, because I think that could be a cool thing. It just, people need to stop knee-jerk reacting to a word from a game that still has a code name associated with it. Like, we know nothing. So,
well, you know what the best thing about a Control 2 is, though?
What?
New Power to the Fall song, baby.
There we go. Let's go.
I was gonna say, if they keep with the kind of SCP feel that they were having, the PvE Condor game could just be like an MFT squad coming in on a new variant that
100%
no one's discovered yet. And those, if you ever read any of the short stories, those are always creepy first encounters where something's going to go wrong and you don't know what it is.
Yeah, my hopes, like my pie in the sky hope for Condor would be a team of 4 go into like a randomly generated area. They hunt down some sort of object of power that maybe they don't know a lot about. They clear a whole bunch of rooms of hiss or whatever they're going to fight. They get this thing, they fight a cool thing, they extract, and you do it again for the next level. Like that would be my dream game.
Yeah, you find the object of power, it extends the hallway, and then you got to try to figure out, okay, how do we get to this thing?
Yeah,
so that
exactly.
We can bring it in.
Yeah.
And like repeating the same levels is easily explainable with, hey, time loops.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Remember the oldest house? Things were weird. Yeah. All right. That's our news stories, and unfortunately, we're out of time this week. I will carry over this next email here from Clarissa, our captive fan, to next week. I promise we'll answer it next week. We just a lot of games this week we're talking about.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, surprisingly. You can visit us at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page, including the Discord server. We talked about that earlier in the show. Patreon.com/E1M1, the ones are numbers. We talked about all the cool stuff you get at the top of the show. Don't forget that supporting us financially on the Patreon gets us covers all the bills and the software and the hosting. Also gets us closer to saving away all of our pennies for getting Moon another computer, because that thing's starting to, that poor little guy over there starting to struggle. I'm not talking about Moon.
Really needs to run Destiny. Yeah.
Yes. Most importantly,
it barely does at the moment. It's like I have to restart to stop everything from going, so on and so forth.
And you'll get us closer to the $250 a month goal of me playing a bunch of spoopy stuff every month.
Please. My PC can wait. I just want to watch you squirm.
That's right. You can watch me squirm. Patreon.com/E1M1. Another show. Shout out here to the what's the podcast? What does AE stand for?
AE, Attitude Era, but
there you go.
They're not covering that specific era anymore, so it's the AE podcast.
AE
folks.
podcast. Big shout out if anyone came over here because of that show and continued to listen through the whole show. Thank you so much. We do this every week. We've done it for now 715 weeks. Heaven help us. Never missed a one. Someone send me help. And we'll see everybody next week. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Titles.
All right. I have our Patreon exclusive. Great to see you guys.
It's great to see you guys. I had forgotten about, and I hate it and love it still.
Yep.
Sponsorship Schluter. Hitman Shot Glass. Super Sub. Little Sherpa Boston. Hold on. Tangent. Nope. Giant spoiler.
I'm going to write this down again.
And my wife is dropping something in the kitchen and scaring my cat.
I thought I heard like a high-pitched something in the background.
Yeah.
That was my wife going, sorry, Vivian, sorry.
Okay, my titles?
Yes,
sir.
sorry, I didn't know he was done. Yes, Moon, your titles, please.
Minigame Medley, Super Sub, Fourth of Destiny, Raid Dad, That's a Plus, Ori Stuff, Clip Recorded, Item World, and that's exclamation mark, question mark after that.
And Item World with an interrobang.
Lahal is Vegeta, the Not sequel, and Mouth Salad.
I have Who Knew Sega Hates You, Hitman Shot Glass.
Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that. Hold On Tangent, Super Sub, Raid Dad, and Item World?
For me, it's a tie between two, if I'm honest. It's Item World and Hold On, because I'm assuming it's Hold On, space, Tangent.
I put Hold On, Tangent, but yeah, it would probably be Hold On, Tangent? I would have to look it up.
Semicolon, but don't trust me with English.
I like both of those.
I'm okay with both of those. I like Item World within a Terabang just a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
So it was very much and this is like the fifth week in a row I'm going to make this reference. It was very much what's inside of me, what's inside of me, what's inside of me, because you sat there and said, Item World, Item World.
It's a very much like say the phrase Bart sort of thing, like, he said it, Item World. All right, circling it. Let me know when you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 715 for July 5th, 2021. Item World?
It's a problem.
You don't understand. The game literally doesn't end. It's infinite.
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for hanging out with us, watching us live, watching the archive. Thanks, some new peeps hanging out with us. Appreciate you joining. Hopefully we see you all next week. Same time, same place. Bye.